In a quiet village surrounded by vast fields and distant hills lived a simple farmer. His days began with the rising sun and ended when the light faded. His hands were rough, worn by the soil, and his back bent from years of hard work. Yet, despite all his effort, his crops barely earned him enough to survive. He often complained, blaming the weather, the soil, and the market for his troubles. "The rain never comes on time," he'd mutter. "The land is tired. The prices are unfair." Though neighbors and passers-by encouraged him to try new methods, switch seeds, or look into new farming techniques, he always shook his head. "This is how it has always been. What good will change do now?" One summer, a businessman visited the village. He had come for a land project, but something about the farmer's struggle caught his eye. The businessman, used to cities of steel and glass, was fascinated by the hard, honest labor of rural life. He watched the farmer work, noticing the outdated tools, the repetitive methods, and the tired soil. Eventually, he approached the farmer. "You work hard," he said. The farmer gave a hesitant nod. "But have you ever thought about working smart instead of just hard?" The farmer frowned. "Easy for you to say," he replied. "You have money. I can't afford machines or luxuries." The businessman smiled kindly. "It's not about money. It's about your mindset." Curious, the farmer listened as the businessman offered a simple deal. "Let's try something small," he said. "Just one patch of land. I'll bring some affordable ideas. You bring your trust." The farmer hesitated. Change had always seemed pointless to him, but something about the man's confidence planted a seed of interest. He agreed. They worked together on a small section of the field. Instead of expensive chemicals, they used natural compost. They built basic rainwater barrels to save water. The crop they chose was unfamiliar to the farmer, but suited to the climate. Weeks passed, and while the rest of the field remained dry and dull, the small patch flourished. The plants grew tall and vibrant. When harvest time came, the farmer was stunned. That single patch produced more than any other part of his land. "How is this possible?" he asked in disbelief. The businessman replied simply, "Because you changed the way you think." Something shifted in the farmer. He began to ask more questions. He sought advice. He started learning. Using a second-hand phone the businessman had gifted him, he watched videos, studied farming tips, and explored new markets. Bit by bit, his approach changed. He diversified his crops, used better planning, and even found new buyers. The income grew, the land revived, and the farmer's pride returned. But more than his land, it was his belief that had transformed. He was no longer a victim of the old ways. He was now a student of growth. Months later, standing among his green fields, the farmer looked at the businessman and said, "You changed my life." The businessman smiled and replied, "No, you changed your attitude. That's what changed your life." The moral of the story is simple. The biggest difference between struggle and success is not always money, tools, or even luck. It's the mindset we bring to every challenge. Change your attitude and you change your world.